Ever since I was a kid, I always asked the question, why are some people rich but most people poor? And after many years of research, I figured out the answer to that question. The answer to that question is not money. Money is just a tool. The answer is mindset. And from mindset, we create habits. So in this video, I'm going to teach you the 5 secret money habits of the rich. Now, when I talk about rich people in this video, I'm talking about self-made millionaires, people who do not inherit millions or billions of dollars from their family, but people who start out in poverty and use these 5 money habits to create a future of wealth. The perfect example to show you why mindset is more important than money is the fact that 70% of lottery winners go broke just within a few years. They have money in their possession, but yet they don't have the mindset in place to keep that money or grow that money. Therefore, they go broke. Let's get started. The first money habit is delayed gratification. What this means is that you are willing to sacrifice a short-term pleasure in order to gain a long-term pleasure. One of the most popular examples of this is the marshmallow experiment with kids. The way the marshmallow experiment worked is that they would take young kids around 5 years old, put them in a room with a table and a marshmallow on top of the table. Then the adult would say, all right, I'm gonna come back in 10 minutes. If you don't eat that one marshmallow, then when I come back in 10 minutes, you get 2 marshmallows. So this is the perfect principle of delayed gratification. Majority of the kids ate that marshmallow because they just wanted that short-term pleasure. Very few of those kids actually waited the 10 minutes. They had the discipline to wait until the adult came back, and then they got 2 marshmallows. And supposedly the kids who showed that delayed gratification and waited for that second marshmallow were successful later on in life. So a person with a rich mindset is willing to sacrifice the short term. They're perfectly fine with buying an older used car or living in a modest neighborhood with a smaller house or wearing inexpensive clothes because those short-term sacrifices is going to yield them long-term gains in the future. And the next money habit is not having debt. Having debt means that money is taken out of your bank account. Rich people make an attempt to pay off all of their debts so that they don't owe anybody any money, because money owed in the short term is going to add up over the long term, and that if that money was paid off in full and there was no debt incurred, then they could use that money to make more money. One of the most important money concepts to learn is assets versus liabilities. To keep it simple, assets put money into your bank account, liabilities take money out of your bank account. For example, let's talk about cars and houses when it comes to assets and liabilities. A car as a liability is if you buy a brand new car and let's say you're paying $200, $300, $500 a month, that's taking money out of your bank account. If you have a car as an asset, let's say you buy a car, it's a used car, it's not too expensive, payments are low, but then you're driving Uber, you're doing delivery service for Postmates or Uber Eats or something like that, then you're actually putting money into your bank account, assuming you're making more money than you're spending on that car. An example of having a house as an asset is, let's just say you buy a house and you rent out a room or you do Airbnb a few weeks a year, and you're actually using that money to pay the mortgage, pay the utilities, and you're actually making a profit, then that house is now an asset. Another example is if you were to buy 2 houses, and the first house you rent out and it pays for that first house, mortgage, utilities, all the bills there, and also the money earned from renting it pays for the house that you live in as well. Therefore, the house you live in is now an asset, not a liability. So if a rich person comes across a big sum of money, they'll usually take that money and purchase an asset, like a business or real estate or something that will put money into their bank account. A poor person, if they come across a big sum of money, then what they'll do is they may purchase a liability. They may purchase a fancy Lamborghini or something else to show off their wealth that is taking money out of their bank account as opposed to putting money into their bank account. Therefore, money is lost and not maintained or grown. By the way, I'm David, and if you want to learn wise money tips to build a wealthy future, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. The next money habit is to be frugal. Surprisingly, a lot of rich people are more frugal than poor people. The definition of frugal is to be sparing or economical with regard to money or food. So when rich people think of being frugal, they're just very careful of where they spend their money. Kind of like what I was mentioning before with asset versus liability. There's a saying that I really like. It's rich people stay rich by acting like they're poor. poor people stay poor by acting like they're rich. Rich people are perfectly fine by living more modest and not having to show off their wealth. According to the Experian automotive study, 61% of wealthy people actually drive Hondas and Toyotas and Fords. It's not the Lamborghinis, Mercedes, BMWs that a lot of people think. A lot of those companies, if you could afford it, it's fine to drive. But a lot of those cars, the more expensive cars like Mercedes, BMW, it's more of a status symbol as opposed to a quality, long-lasting car that takes you from A to B. So when it comes to being frugal, most rich people don't have a point to prove to show off their wealth, but yet poor people want to acquire these status symbols to show that they're wealthy, even though that their bank account may prove otherwise. Next money habit is to pay yourself first. What this means is anytime you receive a paycheck, you take out a portion, before you touch that money to spend it on anything else, you take out a portion of that money and put it into your savings account or investings account, and then any money left over, you put towards needs and wants. What poor people do when they receive income is they spend it on wants and then expenses. What middle class does is they take that income, they put it towards their expenses and then wants. What rich people do is they take that income, they put it towards investings, then expenses, then wants. So the idea of paying yourself first is you're paying your future self in the future by saving or investing. Then you cover your needs, which are your utilities, your rent, your other big bills, and then your wants, which are hobbies, fun things you want to do, entertainment, going out to eat, things like that. And ideally, whenever you're paying yourself first, if you're putting that money into a savings account, have that savings account at a different bank compared to your checking account, which is your normal spending for bills as well as fun activities. And the next money tip is to always learn. So if it's in regards to building a business or learning about investing, the idea is to make whatever money you have grow into more money without you having to physically trade your hours for dollars. Most rich people spend a lot of their time investing into themselves so they could be a better person, but also so they could acquire more wealth in the future. For example, let's talk about time. If you were to give 2 hours of time to a person with a rich mindset compared to a person with a poor mindset, someone with a poor mindset may use that 2 hours of time to go on social media or to watch a movie on Netflix. Meanwhile, someone with a rich mindset, they'll use that 2 hours to learn a new skill, maybe to build their business or figure out other investment opportunities to make their money grow more. Part of learning is to always grow. So if you've made it this far in the video, that means that you have a rich mindset and you are investing in yourself to learn things that'll help you grow rich in the future. And I'll leave you with this quote: "An investment in knowledge pays the best interest." So always learn how to grow yourself, become a better person, invest in yourself with knowledge and videos such as this so that you could have a wealthy future. And if you want to learn the beginning steps of how to invest in the stock market, you could click this video over here. It teaches you how to get started and what you need to know. And I'll see you in the next video. Thank you for watching.